6:30 tonight, but to get it going, Taylor Higgins, the setter, hometown girl from Honolulu, will start it off for the Bows. TCU first off goes with one of their middles, and she doesn't have to hit it hard, and that's Reagan McGuire.
McGuire, really known for her blocking, does a great job of seeing the hole in Hawaii's defense, and just, like you said, doesn't have to hit it hard. Nice little tip right into the hole.
Ashley Smith with the serve for TCU. Taylor with the swing for Hawaii. It's blocked. Right back to her again, and this time she's going to go off the block for the point. So she stuck with it on that one and was able to pull off the point there. So right away we're seeing both teams, you know, you think when you get to the NCAA tournament, are both teams going to come out a little timid, a little nervous, even Hawaii, you know. I mean, they've been here before, but still you're in an unknown location and you just don't know what it's going to bring. TCU, a big swing. Hawaii is there for the dig. And then they're going to get the point off another kill off the block.
But Savannah Kahakai, the libero for Hawaii, what an impressive dig. That was a very hard hit ball out of the middle for TCU, and Kahakai stayed totally in control and calm. Beautiful dig by the libero.
She really read it well. Middle again. This time it's dug again by Kahakai. TC goes back to the middle, and the third time is a charm for Reagan McGuire.
And McGuire stuck with it. She realizes she can't just hit right at Kahakai there in that left back position. She's going to have to move it around a little. That time going through the block of Hawaii and getting the point for TCU.
Big swing on the outside by Sarita Michaels, and TCU with another point to get the serve right back.
And TCU likes to play around with their front row. Sometimes Sarita Michaels will hit on the right side. This time she does a great job of tooling the Hawaii block and going right off that outside hand for the kill.
Tough serve there from TCU, and a big block on the outside by Julian Bergerson.
I talked about TCU moving around that front row. Sometimes Bergerson and Michaels will both shift right side or outside depending on the matchup, depending on who they want to see. And that time you get Bergerson on the right side with the big block.
Bergerson again, this time with a tip, and that was some tippy volleyball going on. No other really way to say it on that play.
And I think part of that, Casey, is the teams aren't quite in system yet. So they're not getting perfect sets. They're not getting great swings. So they're having to use the tip. TCU using it very effectively so far.
Bergerson again off the block, and another point, and TCU has jumped out to a 4-point lead here in this first set of the first round of the NCAA tournament over Hawaii. And there's no intimidation factor going on for TCU right now against this Rainbow Wahine team. Nikki Taylor, and that's going to be another block for TCU, and they have come out on fire. And Dave Sochi wants to talk about it, and what a start for the TCU Horn Frogs here over Hawaii in the first round of the NCAA tournament. They lead here in set one, 7-2.
We talked about it before, Casey. They're used to this.
This is not their first rodeo, as we like to say. So,
absolutely.
But TCU is not showing that they are intimidated at all by that history. They are out to a 7-2 lead here early on. And Hawaii comes out with the middle swing from Claire Marie Anderson, and they get those points. I'm sorry, that was Olivia McGill, and they get those points right back. 7-3 now is the lead for Hawaii. Emily Maglio into the match for Hawaii on the front row now. Bergerson goes off No, they're going to say it was down and out. I thought it went off the block there for a minute. TCU struggled on that serve receive real quick, and that was on purpose. They're going to serve at Bergerson and try to get her out of rhythm so she can't hit right away. Another block from TCU. Nikki Taylor is going to be blocked for another point, and the pairing of Bergerson and McGuire strike again.
Hawaii comes in to this match ranked first in blocking, but right now, Casey, this is all TCU. And not only are they putting up a huge wall, but they are shutting down Hawaii's top hitter, Nikki Taylor.
8-4 now. TCU holds on to that 4-point lead. Taylor tries to go over the block, and this time sends it out.
And that's exactly what that TCU block is going to do. They're going to get in her head, and they already have. They blocked her now twice in a row. She tries to go high off the hands or over the hands, and she sends the ball deep.
9-4 now, TCU. Another tough serve. And another big swing. Not a hard hit ball from TCU, but the placement was enough where Hawaii could do nothing with it. So it is now 10-4, TCU with a 6-point lead, ever growing here over Hawaii here in this first set from the College Station Regional. And another ball unable to be dug on that one. Taylor Higgins not able to come up with a dig, and Nikki Taylor really threw herself into that one, and going after that ball really almost took out our table over here.
TCU, talk about effort, Casey. Complete 100% hustle by Nikki Taylor. She's a little frustrated right now. She hasn't been able to find success with her attack, and her team is not finding success on defense. TCU really putting it to Hawaii right now.
Taylor again goes off the block. They're going to go right back to her, and she is going to be blocked again by this TCU defense that is shutting down Nikki Taylor.
And I said it in the beginning, Casey, TCU is going to have to focus on Nikki Taylor, and that is exactly what they have done. They're finding their way. They're closing their block. They're throwing the block over the net, and it's contagious. It's
and there's
adding to the rest of their game. Exactly.
Going to throw in an ace for that, and we're going to see a lineup change here for Hawaii. Dave Soji's going to send in McKenna Granado into the back row to see if she can't clean up the Bows passing a little bit here, which seems to be causing them a lot of trouble right now off this TCU serve. TCU now leading 13-4. And this time a nice easy swing out of the middle, and when you see that, they make it look so easy on that one as Emily Maglio with a big kill there.
And it all came with a good pass at the beginning of that play, and if Hawaii can find that rhythm and find that pass, they can get back into this ball game.
Nikki Taylor, a tough server. Maglio, another point for the sophomore from Canada for Hawaii, and they are coming back. They're clawing their way back into this first set.
A nice swing right there over the block, and TCU's defense unable to handle that one.
Just a perfect pass off that jump serve from TCU. Sutton Sundstrom really set that play up for the Horn Frogs.
And Nikki Taylor comes in with some very, very good serving numbers. So for TCU to stop that run at only 2 serves by Taylor, very successful for the Horn Frogs.
Down the line for the kill, and that's McKenna Granado.
And Granado, only a freshman 6-foot outside hitter from Oahu, and some really, really good numbers from her coming into this game. But as you can see, TCU hitting 500 during this set and holding Hawaii below 100. The Horn Frogs are on top of this set so far.
Playing lights out so far. Ashley Smith with the swing. Nikki Taylor out of the back row. And that time it gets blocked, but it goes right back down on TCU sides. And Emily Maglio has really been a spark for this Hawaii offense here in the last few points.
And TCU's block was all over that attack. They just didn't seal off the net, and therefore it landed on their side. But you're right, Maglio has really been kind of the bright spot so far in this set for Hawaii.
Ashley Smith takes that set for the kill. So right away, TCU, they may give a point up, but they give it right back.
And that's Smith's first kill of the game as she just now finds herself on the front row. TCU had a bit of a run while she was on the back row, and so she now is kind of getting her chance to get out there and attack the ball.
Bergerson back to serve now for TCU. Leval hits that one out. So Hawaii really kind of struggling here a little bit with their hitting.
And when you're down by that many points here in the first set, errors are just unacceptable. You have to force TCU to either make the error or earn the points on your own. But hitting errors, serving errors, those are things that Hawaii just can't afford right now.
Maglio gets that point right back for Hawaii. And she's going to take a seat for Claire Marie Anderson to come in and serve out of the back row. Manu Leval with a big swing there for Hawaii, and she is a dangerous outside hitter.
She is one of the best. She is one of the only seniors on this team, Casey, and really brings that leadership to the court. Great cross-court shot right there by her. Smith just unable to deal with it on that side.
And another point there for TCU, and we're seeing a lot of slappy volleyball. Kind of, it's not the prettiest volleyball you expect to see, especially at this point in the year. But TCU doing a good job of running the quick set there for the point. So now their lead is still 7, though, 17-10 here in this first set. Alexia Heist goes back to serve, senior from El Paso. Nikki Taylor mishits that one, and it's going to go long. And so another hitting error for Hawaii.
And unfortunately for Hawaii, Nikki Taylor is just not on her game right now. And they're going to call a timeout and see if they can kind of make some adjustments, because right now you're down 8 points. It's a big hole that Hawaii has dug themselves.
Absolutely, and they're going to have to figure out how to make it right. Right now, Hawaii, we talked about, when you look at stats, Hawaii's hitting .069 right now compared to TCU's .375, and a lot of that is coming off the defense of TCU. And when you look at their overall records and you look at their stats for the season, Hawaii 26-1, TCU 19-9. But if you look down the row, there's really not one stat that puts Hawaii that much more over TCU and vice versa.
And Hawaii comes from the Big West, and something that Coach Shoji talked with us before the match, he said, we know we are not part of a great conference, and it was even more so a down year this year than it has been in the past. So yes, we went undefeated, but we know that it's going to be a much different story going into the NCAA tournament. TCU, on the other hand, yes, they have the at-large bid. The Big 12 is one of the top conferences in the NCAA in the game of volleyball, and so TCU may not look, record-wise as though they're as good as Hawaii, but in reality, they come from a very, very tough conference. They've played much tougher competition throughout the year than Hawaii has had to.
And we talked about TCU's big win over number 2 Texas this year. Meanwhile, Hawaii beat Florida when they were ranked very high in the rankings. And so both of these teams have played and beaten ranked teams, but overall, when you look at their overall RPI, TCU's is going to be higher. But what Hawaii's got going for them is their experience. They've been here before, they dealt with it before, they've been down before, and they've been able to come back. So in TCU, a couple times this year has jumped out to quick leads in matches and lost those. And so it'll be interesting to see here how this plays out, especially the rest of this first set. Another big dig from TCU. Ashley Smith sends it back over. And that's going to be an easy push over there for Olivia McGill for Hawaii.
And that's just a great heads-up play by McGill there in the middle for Hawaii. She sees the open spot, and although Smith reaches back and gets a hand on it, unable to get it up for the rest of her teammates. Good heads-up play by McGill.
McGuire swings on, going behind the setter, and a great down-the-line shot.
And Casey, I mentioned it earlier, Hawaii came into this match ranked first in the country, in the entire country in blocking, and I have not seen it so far today.
Nikki Taylor hitting from the outside, doesn't have to hit it hard though, just goes over the block, a nice easy shot for her.
And I think I saw a smile come from Nikki Taylor. I think it was more of a relief, a sigh of relief, because she really has been struggling so far. So just to get any kind of point, any kind of positive production out of her is going to be a little bit of a breath of fresh air for Hawaii.
McGill finishes it off, and what a set of rally right there on that point. Just outstanding job by both teams of keeping the play going there.
Great defense, great coverage on the block. Both teams really had it going, but McGill able to finish it for the Bows. And Hawaii, they're only 6 points down. Chipping away 1 point at a time.
Big swing out of the middle, Reagan McGuire. And boy, she has come out on fire. That's going to be her 4th kill of the afternoon already. 2013 now, TCU's lead back to 7.
See, McGuire used that split. Hawaii had 2 blockers go up, but a huge hole in between the hands, and McGuire used it and went right in between.
Another errant pass by Hawaii on the serve, and another long swing there from Nikki Taylor, who just completely seems to be not herself here in this first set.
Taylor hitting negative right now, and like you said, she was the one who we all had our eyes on at the beginning of this match, and right now they're on her, but not for a good reason.
Going to call net violation there on Hawaii, and it would have been a great dig in the back row, so it's a shame that Nikki Taylor did catch the net right at the top there with her arm. Hawaii gets that point back, trying to hold off TCU. The Horn Frogs just 3 points away from taking this first set here in College Station. Savannah Kahakai going back to serve now for Hawaii. She gets blocked, they go right back to her, and it's very predictable that she's going to try to tip it.
But TCU is doing such a great job of mixing up the shots. And Michaels, it does. She definitely broadcasts it. You know, Kahakai makes a decent read and is able to get a touch, but you've got to see that she goes up with that open hand and that she's going to tip that ball.
Hawaii is just struggling on all sides of the ball right now here in this first set. TCU 2 points away here from taking the opening round, and there's an easy kill for Hawaii. Clay Greeley with that one.
Hawaii has found some success down the line, and if they can continue getting the sets all the way out to the pin and using that line shot, especially going into the second and third set, we'll see if they can find some more success.
Another big serve from Nikki Taylor. TCU able to handle it though. Cross-court shot there from Sarita Michaels. And we are at set point now here. TCU storming out on Hawaii here in College Station. And the Horn Frogs going for set point here over Hawaii. Sarita Michaels back to serve for TCU. And Hawaii says not quite yet. Greeley with a nice swing there.
And when Hawaii puts the pass on target, they are successful. Number 17, that was Casey Castillo, put a perfect pass right on target, and Hawaii was able to run their offense and got the kill. But TCU has done such a good job so far of this match of keeping them out of system that Hawaii just looks uncomfortable out there.
McKenna Granado serving for Hawaii, trying to hang in there. TCU set point. Manu Aleve stays with it for the kill. She gets the swing and then tips it right back over. Good heads-up play.
A good dig by Sutton Sundstrom over there for TCU in the back row, but it goes back over the net. If she could have just kept it on TCU's side, given her team a chance, Hawaii comes away with the point instead.
Yeah, Leval really stuck with it. And there's going to be set point for TCU. They take this one 25-17, and Hawaii just looks a little stunned right now, and I don't know if they expect it to come out and play. We'll talk about it here after this break. TCU takes set one here in College Station, 25-17.
Her to struggle this entire match, it'll just be how much she can come back from that first set.
TCU has had a history this season of coming out very strong and then kind of fading off a little bit, and so we'll see if Rainbow Wahine are able to make that happen. And right off the bat, there's a big kill from Maglio for Hawaii.
And the middles for Hawaii really have been the bright spot so far in this match. Maglio being one of those two and just doing a wonderful job for the Bows so far today.
Big swing from TCU, Ashley Martin in the match. That's the first time we've been able to say her name here today.
And Ashley Martin, a freshman for the Horned Frogs, was named to the freshman team in the Big 12. Somebody who Coach Kramer said has just really been a great player for them this year, especially for only being a freshman.
And she takes advantage of an overpass right there and sends that one straight down to the ground.
What a phenomenal swing by Martin. That's a happy birthday is what we call that in volleyball, right over the net, and she just pounds it down in front of the 10-foot line.
TCU up 2-1 here early on, and there's a big swing on the outside from Kalei Greeley. So Greeley gets Hawaii going here, 2-2 now, as she will go back to serve. Greeley, a sophomore from Riverside, California. Martin goes long on that swing, so she had a couple of great plays in a row. They're going to call a touch on that one, actually. So Hawaii was a little bit surprised by that call, but the line judge says no, she touched it. So now it's 3-2. TCU continues to serve. Set off on that one, and Maglio couldn't do anything with that one, and TCU was ready and waiting.
TCU's block did a great job of staying strong and pressed over the net. Maglio barely gets a fingertip on it, as does TCU, but because they were pressed over, that ball stayed on Hawaii's side.
And another bad pass, this time from Manu Olivai, and so right away Hawaii is kind of right back where they were in set number one.
TCU has completely kept the momentum going into the second set, Casey, and Sundstrom is doing a great job serving for the Horned Frogs right now.
Big swing and a big dig. Out of the middle, McGuire. Going to have a net violation on at TCU right there, and that's going to send the point right back to Hawaii, and they're going to call that one on Sarita Michaels.
And sometimes when you know you're going to be late on the block, you try to overcompensate, and because of that, you press too far, you get a little sloppy on your footwork and on your hands, and that's what caused Sarita Michaels to get into the net for TCU.
Michaels, a big swing, and she gets that point right back for TCU, and she is really swinging hard here today on the right side.
Sarita Michaels with 6 kills, hitting .667, a great numbers for the right side. A big swing right there, and again, all the momentum on this TCU side of the court right now.
Hawaii has got 0 blocks here today, and we talked about it earlier that they are the #1 blocking team in the NCAA, and right now they have 0 against this TCU team here today. They do get that point there on that one, but Hawaii's blocking is not living up to what we thought it would today.
You know, and meanwhile, TCU with 5 blocks, completely shutting down. I believe 3 of those are against Nikki Taylor, the best player for Hawaii. She's back on the front row now for the Bows, so we'll see what she can do now here now that she's gotten back to the front.
Michaels a little off on that one, manages to find the opening, and they're going to call net violation on Hawaii on that one. Looks like she hit it outside the antenna. She was way outside, it looked like, on that one. Or are they going to say
just out?
The net was moving, and it was just a normal move.
The ball
but
goes
she
off
swung
the net.
wide.
The ball goes off the net, but no TCU players touched it. Therefore, it's an error on Hawaii.
There's a block. They slowed it down, but TCU comes right back with another big swing. Smith is blocked. Free ball now for TCU. And finishing it off for the Horn Frogs is number 19, Natalie Gower.
TCU's bench is excited. Their fans are behind us. They're excited. Their coaches are excited. There is a lot of momentum on this TCU side of the bench, and they are very, very excited.
TCU now up 8-4 here in the second set. The Horn Frogs lead the match 1-0 here from College Station.
You know, he said, we don't worry about the distance. We're here to play volleyball. This is a business trip. But you can only imagine that these Hawaii girls are going to be a little bit more tired, or maybe a little bit more jet lagged, so to say, than TCU obviously would be.
Another bad pass on serve receive for Hawaii. Nikki Taylor is going to have another hitting error, and that is Hawaii's 11th hitting error of the game.
11 hitting errors, the team hitting 164 right now. Meanwhile, on the other side of the net, TCU only has 1 hitting error. That is a very, very impressive stat.
Good pass there for Hawaii, and they get that point right back.
And when Hawaii is getting the ball to their middles, that time McGill with a great swing on a nice, easy 1 ball right there in the middle, basic volleyball, they're having success. But they have to pass to be able to do that.
You're serving aggressive. When you're down, you like to see aggressive serving, but that one was really too aggressive and sailed out. And that was a chance for Hawaii to get some of the momentum back, and they just gave it right back to TCU. And so things just really aren't going Hawaii's way here. Meanwhile, TCU is taking advantage of their errors, although I say that, and there's a net ball right back at them. So both teams with their first service errors of the match right there. Hawaii trailing 6-10 now, as libero Savannah Kahakai goes back to serve for the Bows. Nikki Taylor on the right side and off the block for the point, and that's really one of the best hits we've seen her make here today.
Nikki Taylor's 3rd kill of the game. Again, I think Hawaii expected a lot more out of her so far today, but we'll see if maybe that can spark a little momentum for Taylor and the rest of her team.
Great defense there by Hawkeye to keep that going, but then TCU comes right back and puts it down to the ground, and Natalie Gower with another kill.
And you've said it, Casey, a great defensive play by Hawaii, but still, it gives TCU a free ball. Bergeson's there, puts it right on target, able to set up the perfect middle attack by TCU, and they are taking advantage of all of Hawaii's mistakes right now.
Another point off the block for Hawaii, and that's really what they've been having to live by to get their kills here today.
I don't have that specific number in front of me, Casey, but I can imagine that 80% of Hawaii's points have come from that middle attack so far today. Their outsides really not putting up any significant numbers. Nikki Taylor now already on the back row, and again, just hasn't done a lot today for Hawaii.
Their middles are contributing to 12 of their kills right now, 6 for McGill and 6 for Maglio, so there you go. And there's a kill from the outside. This time Greeley gets her 5th kill of the afternoon.
Nikki Taylor, a very, very strong server for Hawaii. Led the Big West in service aces this year, and she's going to do her best to take TCU out of system.
Right there for the pass, it's Sarita Michaels, and then with the big swing, but it's going to go out by Martin.
Ashley Martin just tried to turn that ball a little too much, and you could see it on her face. She knew that that was her mistake. She got to keep it inside the court. Hawaii did a nice job of watching that ball go, realizing it was not going to be inbounds.
Hawaii with a chance to tie the set up, and Nikki Taylor, and that's often what happens when you have a powerful jump server, top spin, like Nikki Taylor has. You see a lot of serving errors, but that gives the ball back to Hawaii now. They're up by 2 here, 12-10. Smith back to serve. And another big swing from Hawaii's middle. Maglio there with her 7th kill.
Maglio and McGill have done a wonderful job in the middle for Hawaii, this time on the slide run, taking advantage of that split in the block and getting the kill and the point for Hawaii.
So Hawaii with another shot here at tying this set up. Trying to even this match here. TCU jumped out 1-0. There's Martin with another point. I'm sorry, that was McGuire with the point out of the middle off the block.
And what I like about that for Reagan McGuire, on the play before, she was the one unable to close the block for TCU. This time she comes back, redeems herself with a nice kill out of the middle.
Didn't have to hit it hard. It's all, sometimes it's not about how hard you hit it. It's where you put it, especially when you've got 2 big hands in front of you. Big swing from the right side, Nikki Taylor. Bergerson is blocked. Right back there for the dig is Sundstrom, though. And there's a block from Hawaii, and she really didn't look like she had to put much effort on that, did Maglio. Just kind of jumped up, and there was the ball.
And that's what Hawaii has to do if they want to get back ahead and start getting some points. They have got to make that block better. And that time she kept her hands pressed over long enough, because that was not a hard hit ball by TCU. She was able to press over and keep that ball back on TCU's side. So
Hawaii staying calm here and just gently chipping away at this TCU lead. Another right side attack from Nikki Taylor out of the back row. Oleval is blocked, and Nikki Taylor comes right back, and Hawaii has tied this second set up here at 13.
And Hawaii is doing it kind of quietly. You still see the energy and the momentum coming from TCU, but then you look at the score and it's all tied up. All of a sudden, Hawaii, like you said, they have the experience. They're going to stay calm and know that they can score some points here.
Michaels tries to tip it over. Right idea, just bad execution on that one. And Jill Kramer is going to call TCU's first timeout of the match. She really hasn't had to talk to her team much here, but they've kind of let Hawaii right back in this match here on this second set. Nikki Taylor, we talked about her after that first set. She wasn't playing very well. She's kind of getting back into the swing of things now, so to speak. Now, 4 kills on the afternoon for her, and we talked about her pregame, that she is just one of these players that you expect to see playing for Hawaii.
She's 6'4" as an outside hitter on the right side. Again, Big West Player of the Year. This is the 3rd year in a row of the 3 years she's been at Hawaii that she's been on the Big West first team. She led her team in kills per set, and service aces. We've seen how powerful she is. She's got 4 kills on the day so far, but she's still hitting negative 167. She still has some work to do. She also adds 4 digs to that total, Casey, and 0 blocks. That's something that, as a right side, maybe even more so than offensive player, you need to be a defensive player, and that's what we have not seen from Nikki Taylor today.
We talked about Hawaii's resume and how they got to this point, you know, and you look at their record so far on the year, and they've had a lot of 4- and 5-set matches this year. So this is not something they're unaccustomed. This situation of maybe being down a set or being in a close match, they're used to this year. And I think the big shocker came because they are just the 7th-ranked team right now, and they really were expected to come in here and play a little bit better, especially here in this opening set, than they did. And there you see their resume, and you can't say anything else about them. They are one of the most prolific teams in NCAA volleyball history, 34th NCAA tournament. You know how many NCAA tournaments there's been? 35. They've only missed one ever in the history of the NCAA tournament, and so that just tells you a lot about this program and what it brings to the table. Coming right out of the timeout, and that's a point for the coach. Sarita Michaels gets the kill.
And again, Sarita Michaels and Jillian Bergeson, you'll see them flip-flop on the right side and on the outside. Michaels has been hitting on the right side. That time she gets the kill from the outside. So it really just depends on the matchup on the other side of the net, who's blocking them, maybe who's hitting against them. And that's what Coach Kramer looks at and decides which one. It's just so nice for a coach to have players that are that versatile.
Absolutely. You just don't see that these days because players come in a lot of times so specialized in their position, and it's hard to get them to change. There's a big block out of the middle for TCU. Bergeson's going to send it over. Nikki Taylor, right side back row attack. Sarita Michaels. And there's a swing out of the middle for TCU, and I don't know if you can hear the fans behind me. All they were yelling was hit the ball because there were so many tips going on in that play.
Coach Kramer told us before the match, it is a total team effort on her side. There's not one player that's going to take over the game, and that's exactly what we've seen today. Every single player that's on the court has added something for this TCU team.
A block there by TCU, or at least the umpires did not see that it might have hit the net, and now they're going to say that TCU was not able to get under that ball. And you see Ashley Smith visiting with the up referee there. Mary Blaylock made that call. She argued that perhaps that was a pancake dig, and I couldn't really get a good angle on it to say whether or not she was right or not, but Hawaii's point nonetheless. Tied at 15, second set here in College Station. A big block, and this time that is Gower and Michaels for TCU.
We've talked about how Hawaii came into this match leading the nation in blocks. Well, TCU, they are ranked 10th in the NCAA for blocks per set with 2.95, and I believe 12th overall in blocking statistics. So they are just as good of a blocking team, and they are showing that today.
And sometimes the difference between the number 1 team and the number 12 team can be 1/100th of a point. It can be a very minute difference,
especially
there.
when it comes to blocks and, you know, even
Yes.
hitting percentage. The statistics are so close in volleyball.
Absolutely. Tied at 16. Smith. Another block from TCU. Gonna go off the block for the kill. And Nikki Taylor gets that point for Hawaii, her 5th kill on the afternoon. And Hawaii now 17-16, 1-point lead here for the Bows. quick set. And a nice watch there by Sundstrom on the back row to let that ball go, and it was a little bit of haphazardly hit there by Hawaii.
And being all tied up, 17 all, an interesting note to take into consideration, Hawaii has not lost a second set all year. Casey, they have lost one match to UCLA, but it was in 4, and they won that second set.
McGill sings wide on that one, and so Hawaii pushing, they're being aggressive, what you expect to see them do, but the balls aren't going where they want them to go necessarily, and credit TCU with the block for making that happen. High set. Smith goes off the block for a big kill for TCU.
And TCU is up 2 points right now, but you would think they're up by 20, Casey. All of the emotion is on TCU's side. It's in their coach, it's in their captains, it's in all of the players on the court, including Ashley Smith with that last kill.
Yeah, TCU, you hear the fans behind us. They didn't have to travel but 200 miles to be here, and they are definitely here in force tonight. And you hear them cheering for their players. But the big thing to think about TCU is, remember, they have a first-year head coach. This is Jill Kramer's first year at TCU. She had been at West Virginia previously, so she knows the Big 12, but she also knows TCU very well.
She was on the very first TCU volleyball team. She was actually recruited to play at Texas A&M, who was hosting this regional, but she decided to go to TCU, be the first scholarship player on the first team in 1996. You can see she graduated from TCU in 2000, but she said it has been a very, very surreal year to kind of come back and go full circle.
And then on the other side of the net, if you're Jill Kramer, how much respect do you have to get to coach against a veteran coach like Dave Shoji?
I asked her before the match, had she thought about, from a coach's standpoint, what it would be like to coach against literally a living legend in the volleyball world, and she said, you know, I really haven't, but it's pretty cool if you think about it. Dave Shoji has been at Hawaii for 41 seasons, one of the best records overall. He was named Big West Coach of the Year, going 16-0. That's definitely a given, and he is a member of the Hawaii Sports Hall of Fame. I mean, as long as this guy has been in the sport of volleyball, he's got connections and networking everywhere.
Hawaii three-time national champs in 82, 83, and 87 under his watch. 34th appearance in the NCAA tournament. And that's going to be a block, but it comes down on TCU side. Greeley with a nice job at that of not swinging all the way. So 18-19, TCU lead by 1 here in this second set. They won the first set over Hawaii here in College Station. Free ball here coming for TCU. Outside, and Ashley Smith takes that low set and finds an empty spot on the court.
And you know, you said low, but that's an absolutely gorgeous set by TCU, because you have to be quick on offense. She has to shoot it out there, or then you give Hawaii's blockers enough time to get there. Because of how quick this set is, Ashley Smith is left with a huge hole in the block and takes advantage of that split and puts it down for the kill.
Credit Kaylee Smith with the great set there, and TCU's defense is going to keep this play going. Nikki Taylor going to call net on that one. Ashley Smith caught the net on that one, and it takes away what would have been a great dig by TCU.
I want to give a little credit to Jillian Bergeson playing in the back row for TCU right now. She's 6'2", and not that tall girls can't pass, but she does an absolutely beautiful job for TCU in the back row of staying low and getting to some of those balls. Great effort throughout that entire rally by Bergeson.
Overpass there by Bergeson on that one. And so now we're back at a tie, the 8th tie of this second set here. 5 lead changes so far. And you can see that was just an easy tip over by Greeley there. Taylor continues to serve tough. Tries to go down the line, but it's going to go wide, and Hawaii really forced that shot.
Nikki Taylor is back serving for Hawaii right now, too, and one of their best servers, most aggressive servers. TCU's handling it okay that time. An error by the freshman Martin. Good pass there.
And there's a big kill out of the middle, and she makes up for that one, Ashley Martin. And wow, she's really come on here in this second set and had some key kills at key moments.
To be able to go to your freshman when you're down by one, the score is 21-21 now. To have the confidence to go to your freshman, that's huge. That says a lot about TCU, and it says a lot about Ashley Martin.
Freshman from McKinney, Texas. Another point there from TCU, and Hawaii continues to struggle. Taylor Higgins could not do anything with another bad pass.
Ashley Smith with the serve for TCU, and again, she does it all for the Horn Frogs, including puts up a really tough serve.
Quick set out of the middle, and TCU is going to get 3 on that one. The second one coming off of Bergerson's cheek. That one's going to go off the block. So tied again here, 10th tie of this second set at 22 all.
And it's so interesting to see the different demeanors between TCU and Hawaii, because although it's tied, Hawaii is staying very emotionless. They're very calm over there on the other side. There's not a lot of cheering. There's not a lot of talk. Complete opposite on TCU's side.
Business trip for Hawaii. Killed by Ashley Martin, and they continue to use the freshmen to get their points, and they are 2 points away now from going up 2-0 here over 7th-ranked Hawaii.
You mentioned business trip for Hawaii. We talked to Coach Kramer for TCU, and she said, my girls are not okay with just being here. That is not enough for them. They are here to win volleyball matches. It is not about just making it to the tournament.
Nikki Taylor from the back row, and if she's back row, front row, it doesn't matter. She still spends the same amount of speed on that ball when she hits it.
She could be serving back behind the line. She is such a powerful player. And Sutton Sundstrom kind of in that in-between of whether do I take it overhead or do I use my platform, kind of got caught and was unable to make the dig.
Yeah, you gotta make a decision early, but sometimes it's hard because you don't know how fast that ball's traveling. TCU not able to handle the pass, and so now Hawaii 1 point away now from closing out this set number 2 and tying this thing up, and Jill Kramer wants to talk about it. And you see, we talked about the demeanor, and she's high-fiving coaches and smiling and keeping their spirits up. Yeah, this is set point, but, you know, they've been in situations here this season where they've been able to really take advantage of playing well. One of those we talked about earlier in the season when they swept that point second-ranked Texas Longhorns in Fort Worth. And that was a huge win for this program because that really solidified them as being a perennial powerhouse in the Big 12.
And yes, they were at home in Fort Worth, but you don't just go and sweep Texas. I mean, that is such an incredible win, no matter if you're at a neutral site, home or away. And so I can only imagine TCU did not come into this thinking, oh my gosh, they're ranked 7th in the country. No, they're coming in saying, we face opponents like this every single week in the Big 12. This is nothing new for us.
Meanwhile, Hawaii, we talked about it this year, they have not lost a second set this season so far, and they are 1 point away from keeping that record there, keeping it afloat. 1 point away here from tying this match up at 1 set apiece. 24-23 Hawaii here in set number 2.
And it's a funny statistic. You think, oh, okay, it's the second set. But the second set comes right before intermission, and that's where adjustments are made and can be made. But it's also kind of where the momentum leads into that break during the match. So Hawaii winning those second sets has created momentum for them throughout the season.
And they've had to claw their way back into this second set as well, as TCU jumped out to a big lead again here to get things going earlier in this set. McGuire with the swing. overpass, and TCU was not ready for that ball. And Sarita Michaels, you can tell she's very upset, and I think everybody thought everybody else was going to get that ball. But we're about to start set number 3 here. It's an even match. Hawaii will get the serve to get things going.
And it's Sarita Michaels again for TCU. That one definitely came off of Nikki Taylor. And that's one spot that TCU has had a lot of success, is that cross-court shot coming from the right side. We'll see if they keep going back to that until Hawaii can find an answer.
Hawaii going out of the middle that time, and that time it's Maglio going off the TCU block for the points.
Emily Maglio, the 6'3" sophomore from Canada. That is quite the trip from home. I bet she enjoys the sunshine a little bit more in Hawaii than the snow in Canada. I would.
Another nice dig there by Hawkeye. Ashley Smith. Greeley with a big swing, but what a dig from Sundstrom for TCU. Smith gets blocked into the antenna, so it's an automatic point there for TCU. And that play was really kept going by defensively on the back row for TCU.
Sutton Sundstrom has just done such a fantastic job for TCU. And right there, you can see where that defense, obviously comes in handy. She's all over that backcourt for the Horned Frogs.
Down the line goes Greeley for another point for the Bows.
Interestingly enough, talking about Sutton Sundstrom, she does not play 6 rotations like a normal libero would. She only plays 3. TCU feels confident enough in some of their outside hitters to play all the way around. So she does not see the court as much as she could, being the libero.
Another point for TCU, and Gower goes over the block really to find a hole in the back row. So 3-2. As you see Sundstrom on the bench talking about it with the TCU assistant. Hawaii having trouble with the serve. Outside to Manu Oleval, and she gets the point for Hawaii.
TCU got a little out of system and had to send a free ball over. Hawaii took advantage of it with a nice swing down the line. And Hawaii is looking pretty strong coming out of intermission here in the 3rd set.
And there's a service error, and that kind of takes the wind out of your sails a little bit. Claire Marie Anderson coming in to serve and finds the net on that one. So not what you want to see if you're Hawaii. You know it's very important to get the momentum going here early on against this TCU team who thrives on jumping out early. Another errant pass on serve receive. Nikki Taylor sends it over. And Hawaii finds the open spot there. Actually in the back row for TCU, Alexia Heist was there, but the ball just went off of her the wrong direction. And you see Jill Kramer there trying to keep her team upbeat, but it's 4-4 now, tied here in this 2nd set. Off the block, and that's going to go out. And so TCU with a big swing there to get the point.
And when you're up against such a good blocking team like Hawaii, you have to use the hands to your advantage when you really don't have another option. TCU's had to tip a little bit too much in the last few points, so really wanted to get a swing, that time taking advantage of the block and tooling it out.
Hawaii's blocking, we talked about it a lot here, and there's going to be another point for TCU as that one goes out. But Hawaii's blocking has been their strength, and we thought maybe we've seen that a little bit more here in the 2nd set. They were able to get a few more blocks up.
Yeah, they entered the 2nd set with 0 blocks, so anything that they could get would be better than the 1st set.
McGill with a tip. TCU's going to send it back over. Nikki Taylor And she hit the antenna on that one, so Taylor continues to struggle hitting the ball for Hawaii.
And in these really long rallies, TCU is coming out on top more often than not. It's kind of an out-of-system set, but you still have to keep that ball in play if you're Nikki Taylor.
McGill out of the middle, TCU there for it. Taylor, and this time she goes wide. She's asking for the tip, but TCU was nowhere near that ball. So TCU continues to put pressure on Hawaii to make a play, and Hawaii is going to Nikki Taylor, and it's not happening. TCU jumps out now, 4-point lead here in set number 3. We're knotted up at 1 set apiece in the NCAA first round at Reed Arena. Wrong here in set number 3. The errors continue to plague the Bows. Out of the middle, McGill with the kill right out of the timeout, which is, if you're Dave Shoji, that's what you want to see.
And McGill has done a really good job for the Bows today. That is her 8th kill. She's hitting .350. If Hawaii can keep getting the ball to the middle, they have success.
Short serve that TCU cannot handle. And so there's 2 straight points out of the timeout, and Hawaii is working their way back into this third set, which they're never really out of if you're Hawaii. And if you're a coach and you're a player on the other side, you know that Hawaii is always going to be right there. McGuire going to be called in the net on that one. 4 hits.
And Coach Dave Shoji has to be happy about that timeout he called, because Hawaii has just gone on a 3-0 run and gotten right back into this ball game. It's a good timeout timing right there by the coach. He's been around for a while. I think he's got some experience with that.
And a good time tip there by Bergerson out of the front row for TCU.
Nikki Taylor did a poor job of playing off-blocker defense on this tip. She kind of gets off the net but doesn't react quickly enough. And Kahakai, as good as she is, as quick as she is, she was just too far away to get there in time.
Yeah,
good
you saw
read by TCU.
Nikki Taylor, her first instinct, and this is most volleyball players, is to go up instead of forward. It's your normal reaction, and you saw that in that case with her. TCU not able to stay with that block. Gower and Bergerson kind of weren't able to do it, and TCU really going all in on the block right there.
And McGill listed at 6'1", but she flies almost as if she's 7 foot. She really got up there on that last swing and hit right on top of the TCU block.
And Nikki Taylor really caused that play to kind of go awry for Hawaii right there.
Well, again, TCU had success going cross court from the right side. The dig was made. Nikki Taylor tried to get the second touch on it and did cause a little commotion, and Hawaii unable to come away defensively with that point.
And the timing was off, but it doesn't matter because Hawaii finally gets that point back. Maglio there with that tip off a very high set out of the middle. Maglio's 9th kill on the day. We talked about middles and how well they're doing for Hawaii. Then Hawaii goes back and gets a service error again to send the ball right back to TCU. It's going to be their 4th serving error of the match. Greeley on the outside. And really, Ashley Smith looked kind of like she was caught in motion right there when that hit came.
It went off the block, and Ashley Smith was caught very close, maybe playing for the tip just in case, but her back is almost towards the ball. You're right, Casey. Didn't do a good job of staying open to the hitter.
Smith with a swing. Taylor out of the back row, and that's going to come with a point. Michael's not able to track that one down.
It was a good slowdown by TCU's block, but Nikki Taylor gets it to where it falls right in between Michaels and Bergerson in the back row, and any positive point that you can get from Nikki Taylor is going to be okay, because right now she's still struggling.
Kahakai with another great dig. TCU blocks. Kahakai's right there again. And there's a great dig from TCU. Smith off the block. Manu Oleval with the kill, and what terrific defense did we see right there in that rally from both sides.
And Manu Oleval, she is not going to quit swinging. She is not a tipper. She loves to just pound that ball. She kept going, TCU picking up several of them until that last one. She was able to get the kill.
So Hawaii up now 12-11, and you see a little bit of a spark now from the Bows as they start to show a little bit more emotion, but I still expect to see them come out and it's business as usual, because that's what they've been known to do. And when you look at how they fare against the rest of the NCAA field, we've talked about their blocking a lot, but when you look at their defense in terms of what they've held opposing teams to, I mean, that speaks a lot right there.
Hitting, yeah, the opposing teams only hitting 141. That ranks 5th in the NCAA. And then on their side, they're hitting 288 as a team, which ranks 9th in the NCAA. Again, not as strong of a conference is the Big West as, say, the Big 12 or the Pac-10 or Pac-12, but this is a great Hawaii team with some really good numbers on the season.
They're only hitting 208 today. Actually, that's up now to 241. They're hitting 292 here in this set alone, so they're really kind of having to climb out of the gutter a little bit from that first set, really kind of took them down. And yeah, the one block stat for tonight really stands out.
That really stands out, Casey. Only one block. On the other hand, TCU with 6 blocks as a team on the day, and that's something that I'm sure Hawaii talked about in the locker room during intermission, making those adjustments. We'll see if they can continue to make those adjustments and put up a better block against TCU as this match progresses.
1 point lead here for Hawaii. Match is tied at 1 apiece. Clay Greeley goes back to serve now for Hawaii. It's Hawaii with only 2 hitters on the front row right now. TCU having some issues with their passing and not able to do anything off of that serve or second ball. So Hawaii now back up by 2. Ashley Smith way off the net, and that's been the first stuff block we've seen from Hawaii today.
There's the block that we were just talking about, and it starts with Emily Maglio in the middle for Hawaii. Their hands straight over, gives Ashley Smith nowhere to go on the outside.
A swing and a kill there in that back corner, in TCU, Natalie Gower with that one. That's going to be her 8th kill on the afternoon.
And Natalie Gower did a great job of going into that deep corner. There was a pretty good-sized block in front of her. She goes over the hands. She's 6'4", goes over the hands of that block and finds that back corner, which can be very hard to defend in a game where so many girls hit so sharp straight down.
And a huge block by TCU with Martin and McGuire, and that shuts down one of Hawaii's biggest hitters.
And blocks are such a big momentum shifter, Casey, that time, because not only are you getting the point for your team, you're really getting in the head of the opponent. And like you said, shutting down one of Hawaii's best hitters, that's a big thing for TCU right now.
Another kill is going to go off the block, and the momentum has now shifted right back to TCU. Really felt like the momentum had gone back to Hawaii there. They don't play as emotional as TCU does, but you still felt like the momentum was there, and TCU has gotten it back here over these last 2 points. TCU going with a short serve. Ashley Smith tried to follow that ball and kind of hit it behind her, and maybe not the greatest way to play that particular pass.
It's a tough play. It's a tough dig by Michaels in the back row. Ashley Smith's back was to the net. It's one of those that if you get lucky and you get it, great. If not, just a good swing by Hawaii.
Yep. Smith on the outside. That ball was behind Ashley Smith. And so once again, the set was way off the net. TCU having some setting issues right now, and part of it is the passes just aren't there.
McGill did a nice job in the middle of staying strong, keeping her hands all the way over, tracking that ball because it wasn't hit very hard, forcing it back onto TCU's side.
McGuire and Heist ran into each other on the last play, so there's definitely some communication issues happening on TCU's side. Meanwhile, Hawaii with another block there, and just like that, they have jumped out now to a 3-point lead here over TCU, which is their biggest lead ties their biggest lead of the afternoon in this entire 3 sets so far.
And I'm sure this is exactly what Hawaii fans are used to seeing. This is the Hawaii team that they've watched play in the Big West all year. Now they have 4 blocks. TCU still out blocking them with 7, but 3 of those blocks for Hawaii coming with just in the last few points, and all of a sudden it really seems like they're finding their rhythm, they're finding their timing, especially on that block.
So Hawaii, we talked about the block, but they're also hitting the ball a little bit better. You know, we've talked about Nikki Taylor. We kind of expected her to be the one to get the most kills, and she's really gotten the majority of her kills here, you know, in the last 2 sets. The first set, she really struggled, but she's got 12 kills on the night, and we talked about the 2 middles. McGill and Maglio have 9, and then on the outside, Greeley has 9. And so this is where Hawaii, you talked about TCU and how they're kind of by committee. Well, Hawaii, you know, with Taylor in the mix too, but their middles are really kind of getting it done for them tonight.
And Hawaii's just really done a good job of making their passes better, putting them on target. That is allowing their setter, Higgins, to really move the ball around and give some different players some different options. But more than anything, it just puts her in place. And although Higgins is a junior, she has some experience. There still has been some struggles in the setting game tonight, really for both teams. But when they can put that ball on target, it just makes Higgins' job that much easier.
17-14, Hawaii with a 3-point lead. Claire Marie Anderson back to serve. TCU continues to struggle on the serve receive. Out of the middle comes McGill, and Hawaii has come on strong here in this second half of this 3rd set.
And Higgins had to go up and get that ball. It was a pretty tight pass by Taylor, but McGill did a beautiful job of already being up in the air, making it almost impossible to block for TCU.
Ashley Smith. And another big block on Manu Olival on the outside there, and that was the combination of McGuire and Martin again.
McGuire and Martin swing block to the outside. The timing is absolutely perfect. And from the look and expression from Martin, I think she had a little bit more of a hands in that one than McGuire did.
And a big kill, wide open swing there from McGill. Gonna be her 11th kill of the afternoon.
McGill is absolutely on fire right now, Casey. She's hitting .435 on the day with 11 kills, only 1 error. And that's been key to her success as she's keeping the ball in play.
Taylor gets blocked. She hits it again. This time it goes out. Good job of Hawaii to get that going, but they weren't able to get anything. Meanwhile, TCU continues to block lights out right now.
We talked about Nikki Taylor leading her team with 12 kills, but the struggle is real for Nikki Taylor today. She just hasn't found that rhythm, and TCU has done such a good job of forcing her to take swings that she doesn't want to take and put the ball places where she's just not feeling comfortable.
Another block, and this time that was all Reagan McGuire on that one.
Another stuff block against Nikki Taylor, and TCU has done a really good job of keying in on her and stopping her, but now they're going to have to start answering to some of those other Hawaii players. But an absolutely beautiful block by Reagan McGuire there. She ranks 8th nationally in blocks per set.
And there you see the total blocks tonight, 9-4. TCU has the edge in that one. So what a match we've got going here in game number 1. And you can catch the next match in the College Station Sub-Regional coming up here at 6:30, depending on when this one ends. 10th-seeded Texas A&M will play Texas A&M Corpus Christi. The game will be available on the Watch ESPN app, and you can visit NCAA.com for all the information you need to stay up to date with the NCAA tournament. And speaking of that tournament, here's what things look like here in College Station. TCU and Hawaii playing right now, knotted up at 1 apiece. We talked about A&M and A&M Corpus Christi playing later on this evening after this one. The championship game, or round 2 game here in the sub-regional in College Station, will be tomorrow at 6:30, right back here on ESPN3, and you can catch all the information on that once again at NCAA.com.
What a great time of year, Casey. This is the fun part. You know, all these schools have done such a great job in conference play. 3 of these teams here this weekend are conference champions, but none of that matters. Now you're all in the tournament.
You're all even.
And you're all even. It's everybody's game. And right now, I mean, that's what we're seeing out of TCU. They were the ones at the at-large bid, and they're saying, hey, we're here to play too. We're here to take this victory.
Well, they trail by 2 points here in this 3rd set. Nikki Taylor with another kill, her 13th of the evening, and she's kind of quietly getting her numbers back up. We've seen a few errors here, but, you know, she just continues. They continue to go to her because they have confidence that she's going to be able to get it done.
And that's what you got to love about Nikki Taylor. No matter how much she is struggling, she is staying in there. She's giving it her all.
Going to go off the block. Nikki Taylor was not able to get her timing right on that one, so TCU and Ashley Smith is going to get back in this set here. 21-17, Hawaii's lead now 4. TCU finds themselves down by 4, which they have not been down by much at all here today. McGill out of the middle, and Hawaii continues to use that to their advantage.
It is all McGill right now for the Bows, Casey. She has just done a great job. She's going to leave and have to go to the bench now for 3 rotations, but every time she's gone up in the air, I think she's gotten a kill in the last few swings.
A block by Taylor, but it's going to go out, and a good job there by Jillian Bergerson to let that one go.
The block is there for Hawaii, but you can see Nikki Taylor's hands facing the camera, which is facing out, and that's what Bergerson took advantage of to get the tool.
And Maglio comes out of the middle, and she's going to add to her kills for Hawaii once again out of the middle.
And you're finally seeing some emotion from Hawaii. You're seeing the excitement, the hugging in the huddle, the smiles, and that's because they're finally playing, I think, the way they expected to play from the beginning.
TCU struggling on serve receive, and Hawaii is really on a roll now as they continue to take care of TCU here in this 3rd set. Back to a 4-point lead now. And Nikki Taylor's in the back row, but that absolutely does not take her, as we've seen tonight, out of the hitting rotation. They just simply set her right behind that 10-foot line, and another overpass on serve receive.
And that's not technically an ace in the books, but you have to think that's the mentality. Nikki Taylor, her serve is what set up that overpass for Hawaii to take advantage of, and she's really coming on strong with the jump serve right now.
Set point for Hawaii. Off the block, and TCU and Gower are trying to keep themselves right there in this one. Bergerson will go back to serve. It continues to be set point for Hawaii. Set point number 2 now for the Rainbow Wahine. Nikki Taylor. Smith for TCU, and is going to get the tip, and so TCU fighting back. Not going to let Hawaii take this one too easy. Another set point now. You have to win by 2. Out of the middle, and TCU putting up a triple block in that front row against that Hawaii attack.
And maybe that's the answer to stop Hawaii's middles, Casey, because they haven't been stopped all day. Finally, TCU able to get 3 sets of hands up at the net and stuff Maglio in the middle.
And an ace on the serve, and what do you know, TCU has climbed themselves right back. They fought off now 3 set points in a row here from Hawaii. And Dave Shoji is off the bench, which doesn't happen much. He usually stays pretty calm, but he's not happy with how his team is playing right now. Taylor out of the back row, tries to go down the line. And TCU has now fought off 4 set points in a row. And we are tied at 24.
And Nikki Taylor's in the back row. That set was, she really had to reach forward for that one. It was very far in front of the 10-foot line. She just misses going down the line. We're all tied up.
Greeley on the outside. Jillian Bergerson with the dig for TCU. And another block. And now TCU has gone to set point in set number 3 here.
Talk about comeback kids, Casey. Ashley Martin with the block on the outside. The freshman coming up big for the Horn Frogs here in the 3rd set.
Greeley, a block, and TCU fought off 4 set points and is gonna take set number 3, 26-24. And what a comeback there by the Horn Frogs in this set.
What an absolutely impressive win for TCU.
So TCU now leads this match 2-1. We'll be back with, I'm sure, what will be an exciting set number 4 from College Station. Here, meanwhile, TCU 8-1, so they've played a lot more 4-set matches this year than Hawaii has. So Alexia Heiss going to get it started now for the Horn Frogs. And they start off with another block, but this one goes behind Martin. She's not able to stay with it for the point.
And you can only imagine if that block had been successful for TCU, how much excitement there would have continued to be. But Hawaii kind of cutting that down, getting that first point. That's a big point. I know it's only 1, but that's a big point for Hawaii to stop that momentum.
McGuire with a big swing, and she just swings so hard. She really doesn't have to jump that high.
It's so fast. Her arm swing is so fast, and obviously speed creates power, but she just absolutely launches that ball right through the middle of the split.
McGill out of the middle continues to do her thing. Didn't have to hit it, really just kind of an easy little tip there.
And now she's tied with Nikki Taylor for 13 kills apiece. A lot of those coming in that 3rd set, and she really has been unstoppable for Hawaii in the middle.
McGuire out of the middle, and Hawaii's block is nowhere to be found right now on McGuire.
They turned it on a little bit in that 3rd set, finally started to block, but right now, again, a big split between Taylor and McGill, and McGuire takes advantage of it. Excuse me, not Taylor, but Greeley, and McGuire takes advantage of it and puts it right in the split.
Gonna have a net violation there on Nikki Taylor, it looks like, for Hawaii. So another point for TCU off a Hawaii error. Greeley on the outside and finally gets Hawaii going here in this one with a kill cross court.
It's a good swing by Greeley. She's seemed quiet, although she's got 11 kills on the day. She's really kind of been the presence for Hawaii on the outside, especially when they're out of system and need an outlet set.
That was just a miscommunication there. It looked like Michael thought that was going to be a slower set to the outside. So Hawaii 4-3 now, continue to trade points. Just as this entire match is gone, it looks like set number 4 will go as of right now, back and forth. There's Sarita Michaels, and this time the set was right where she thought it would be.
Well, and it was a great swing because that ball was out of system coming from the back row. She does a nice job of keeping the ball in front of her and still hitting around that big Hawaii block.
Kaylee Smith comes back in. TCU runs a 6-2, so they swap out setters. So they always have 3 hitters in the front row. Another block, almost a block and a dig there from Michaels. TCU's block is there, but they're not finishing it off.
Nikki Taylor regains the lead on her team with 14 kills, and actually between both teams, she leads with 14 kills, still hitting under 100, which is very uncharacteristic of Nikki Taylor.
And a heads-up play there at the front row by Hawaii, knowing that nobody was back there in the back row area for TCU.
Still kind of sloppy volleyball on both sides of the net, Casey. Neither team playing in complete rhythm as they would like to be, and it's really going to be a matter of who makes the less errors.
Another tough serve handled, but I tell you what, Hawaii was camped out right there. Maglio was for that block. (6-4) now, Hawaii. Dramatic win for TCU in set number 3 a few minutes ago, but Hawaii has come out, and there's going to be a pass on, or a kill on an overpass for the Bows.
Sarita Michaels really struggling with the serve from Nikki Taylor, and that's going to force Coach Kramer to call a timeout.
So Hawaii jumps out to an early lead here, 8-4 in set number 4.
Great number, but looking at that 857, Hawaii absolutely on fire right now.
Yeah, Coach loves it if you're hitting 250. So to hitting 286 is TCU, and they're still down in this one, now by 3, thanks to that serving error there out of the timeout.
That's what we call a coach's point. Coach Kramer for TCU called that timeout. Kind of like in football when you're trying to ice a kicker, you're trying to stop the rhythm of that server, and that's exactly what she did, Nikki Taylor in Hawaii.
Ferguson off the block. And so TCU continues now to come back in this one, 8-6 now, Hawaii. And, you know, this point in the year, it's win or go home. And if you're Hawaii, you know the pressure's on you a little bit here because Hawaii, this storied program, doesn't lose in the first round. It just doesn't happen. But they're not playing like they want to get it done right now.
And at the same time, if you're TCU, you do not want to go 5 sets with Hawaii.
No,
you know, you would love to end this as soon as possible, get it done in 4. But you're right, Casey. Hawaii not used to losing, and that may be where some of the struggle is coming today.
Greeley on the outside finds another block, but smartly it comes right back to her, and she hits it deep, and TCU cannot run it down.
And Kaylee Smith made the right read for TCU, but she was a little too aggressive, and so she got caught swinging her arms, which is exactly where that ball went.
So back to a 2-point lead now for Hawaii as Greeley goes back to serve. And have a net violation there on the setter, Taylor Higgins, there for Hawaii.
And sometimes when you're struggling with the block, Higgins, not a tall player, especially compared to her teammates, getting a little too anxious to try to put those hands up and gets called for the net violation.
Nikki Taylor coming out of the back row. Quick set, somehow Maglio was there to get that one over for for Hawaii, but really just kind of sloppy volleyball really all the way around. Neither setters are really setting very clean balls right now.
When Taylor Higgins jumps at that ball, though, she held Ashley Smith to be with her, which left Maglio almost wide open in the middle. A really good set by Higgins on that ball, but you're right, Casey, it has been sloppy.
A block's gonna go out on that one. McGill was there. But another point for TCU off a Hawaii error. TCU hitting 303 in this match right now. We talked about Hawaii storming out in this fourth set, but they're still hitting very well at 667, but it's going down a little bit. Ashley Smith, Hawkeye is there, but can't get the pass where it needs to be.
And that was a great swing by Ashley Smith. That set was very far outside the antenna, forcing her to cut that ball. Very sharp cross, and like you said, Hawaii unable to come away with the dig.
Big block, Ashley Martin and her favorite blocking partner tonight, Reagan McGuire, for TCU.
And Martin and McGuire do such a great job of staying down, not jumping with Higgins, waiting for McGill. That was the only place that Higgins could go to. Higgins is not a very offensive setter. Even when she's in the front row, she's not going to dump the ball as much as some may because of her height.
Net violation there. Reagan McGuire is going to get called for that one. And we really haven't seen a lot tonight from Hawaii's big outside hitter, Manu Olival, just simply because they haven't been able to get the ball to her that much. And she's swinging away, but she's been a little more quiet than she's used to. Only 8 kills for her tonight. McGill smartly tips that ball over, and I can't remember a match when I've seen so many tips in long rallies like we're seeing here today.
Little miscommunication on TCU's side gave Hawaii the free ball, and McGill saw the open spot on that other side of Ashley Smith's block. A really, really good read by McGill.
Tough serve there from Higgins. TCU handles it. And Ashley Martin was met straight up by McGill there in the middle for the block.
Olivia McGill, the 6'1" senior, she played at Arizona for a bit before transferring to Hawaii, and she has just had an absolutely wonderful match so far today.
Quick set out of the middle. McGuire stays with it and is able to finish it off.
A really good heads-up play by McGuire. She gets blocked by McGill in the middle, goes right back up and puts it down. Hawaii's a little stunned. They're all caught standing straight up.
And another block, but this one goes down. She didn't quite get close enough to the net, it looked like.
McGuire made a good read on the block, but she didn't force her hands over the net, and that ball was hit really hard from Hawaii's side, but it stayed on TCU's.
But just another little push, and that would have been another stuff block by TCU. We've seen several of those by them tonight.
They're getting there. It's all about the hands, too.
Martin goes off the block. So both teams taking advantage of the block. It's just they're taking advantage of the other team's block to get the points. 13-14 now. TCU serving down by 1 here in this fourth set. They lead 2-1 over Hawaii here in College Station. McGill out of the middle, and TCU had some issues kind of getting to that last ball, but Hawaii does a good job of capitalizing on that one.
And I want to talk about McGill's athleticism on that play. She passed that ball and then still got off, transition in time to jump up and slam it down for the kill. Not many middles can do that.
Nikki Taylor blocked by Reagan McGuire and Sarita Michaels. So TCU continues their assault on blocking. Now they have 14.5 blocks. In comparison, Hawaii has 6 in this entire match. So just uncharacteristic of what we've seen from Hawaii this season in terms of their defense at the net. Hawaii goes over the block, and Sutton Sundstrom tried to run that one down and kind of hesitated a little bit.
Sundstrom had pulled all the way over to the line and was unable. It wasn't a hard hit ball by Greeley, but she put it in the perfect location. Sutton Sundstrom unable to chase that one down.
She was playing where the block was not
position.
supposed to let the ball
Correct.
go, yeah. Great dig out of the back row by Ashley Smith by TCU to keep it going. And they're going to get a net violation there. Taylor Higgins in the net, and boy, TCU's block was right there over her when she was trying to set that ball.
Higgins not happy with the call. She argued that she was not in the net. We're not going to be able to see it on that replay right there, but the down ref clearly making the call that when she jump set, her arm must have gotten into the net.
Big swing there from Maglio on the slide and gets the point back for Hawaii. They still lead here by 1, although it feels like this is a bigger lead for TCU. Actually, they're going to call that one out, so it's going to be a point TCU, 16-16. But you really feel like TCU really still has all the momentum here in this match. Greeley with another dig by TCU. TCU sticking with their blocks, and they are getting a hand on just about every hit Hawaii's putting up.
They're getting the touches, they're getting their hands, but they've got to force them back over the net. That time Hawaii able to push through the block. Bergeson didn't quite seal off the net, and that's one thing they really need to focus on. I know they're getting tired, it's getting late in the match, but they've got to keep pressing.
Hawkeye with a great dig for TCU, or for Hawaii to give it back to TCU. Ashley Smith, and they're going to call another net violation by Hawaii on that one, and Dave Shoji is not happy right now with the call or how his team is playing.
There have been a lot of net violations called on both sides of the court, Casey. It definitely hasn't been one or the other, but I think Coach Shoji's more upset with his team for getting in the net. I mean, there's another net violation called, this time on TCU, and the block, although both sides are blocking well, are also blocking kind of sloppy.
They're getting tired.
Yeah, and they're getting tired. And
this has been a very intense match on both sides.
A lot of long rallies.
Yes, a lot of long rallies, so they're having to move on and off the net a lot, and the middles and the outsides are tired. And it's showing in many aspects right now, and there's another example of it mentally on the serve receive, just not getting yourself in the right position. 19-17 now, Hawaii leads this one. Big swing there, and somebody practically ripped the net down on that one. Ashley Smith is down on the court right now. She was the one who just hit that last ball and may have caught the net on the way down. The net was moving.
It was a very, very tight set, and when Smith went up along with the Hawaii block, she came down and fell after the play.
Ashley Smith on the night tonight has 9 kills for TCU and has been a big player for them all around the court, front row, back row, everywhere.
You can see on that replay, she clearly was on Hawaii's side. She was under the net on Hawaii's side of the line when she came down from the hit. There looked like there might have been some contact, but she definitely fell after the play. It will be Hawaii's point after the trainers are able to attend to her and see if she can continue on.
So Smith is down on the court right now. The training staff and the coaching staff are attending to her. And this may be the quietest this arena has been tonight. In fact, I know it is. You could hear a pin drop in here right now.
Ashley Smith, again, you know, the player we talked about at the very beginning of this match, Casey, one of those key players, the player to look for, kind of the leader of the team. Her and Michaels and Bergeson all play 6 rotations, but she is the one that leads the team in kills and kills per set, and she really has been such a pillar for this TCU team all season.
So they're giving her more time to kind of work through whatever's going on.
got the whole coaching staff out on the court right now, and the trainers, of course. Texas A&M, the host team, their trainers standing nearby in case they need anything, kind of seeing what's going to happen tonight.
She's going to get up. It looks like she's going to get a little bit of help, but she's walking on her own, so that's a good sign if you're Ashley Smith for one and the rest of TCU. So they're going to take her to the bench, and they're going to put a sub in for her, and they're going to confer about who that's going to be right now, and Ashley Smith is going to continue to walk it off a little bit. So we're going to see number 24 for TCU, Blair Pickett, senior, come into the match. She's listed as an opposite hitter, but obviously plays all around the court. So they're going to put her in for Ashley Smith, as Ashley Smith is continued to be treated on the side there by TCU's training staff.
And remember, Bergeson and Sarita Michaels both play outside or right side. So we may see to where they try to shift the rotation where they're both hitting outside and Blair Pickens does hit right side. TCU is going to call a timeout because they want to talk about the players they have on the court and kind of see how this rotation is going to work.
Ashley Smith out for TCU right now. TCU down by 3 here to Hawaii, 20-17. They lead it 2-1 here in College Station.
And this is a big momentum blow to TCU.
Blair Pickens came in, and so we'll have to see how this affects TCU now. Their emotional leader, one of them anyway, is out of this match. And so they're having, and we talked about how they really use her in so many different positions on the court, and they're going to have to adjust their offense now. Can Hawaii take advantage of that and put them away here in set number 4? And not yet, because you have to remember that TCU is a very complete team, and there was an example of it right there.
And that's exactly what Coach Kramer told us before the match. This isn't a one-person team. This isn't a team where one person is going to change the outcome of the game. Yes, Ashley Smith is a huge leader and a big component of that, but TCU is very much a team effort type of team, and they're all going to come together and play for Ashley whether she's on the court or not.
Pickens is going to get a swing. She's blocked. They're going to call a lift on that dig.
And I know they're trying to get Blair Pickens into the game and get her some swings and get warmed up, but I don't like that they've gone to her twice now already in the last couple of points. Use the players that you have on the team and who are warm, who have been swinging and having success against Hawaii.
Ashley Martin with the big swing finds the corner, and that's a spot we haven't seen her hit to tonight because they've been really focusing on letting her swing on the short ones, but she found that open spot there. So 22-19 now. Hawaii continues with that 3-point lead. Going to see a substitution come off the bench. Pickens is going to have a seat, and we're going to see number 13, Jensen Ditzler, come in to serve. Freshman from Los Gatos, California, defensive specialist. Another freshman in for TCU, a very young team. Trying to fight off the experience of Hawaii on the other side of the net. Taylor off the block for the point. Bergeson not able to track that one down. So Hawaii 2 points away now from sending this thing to a 5th and deciding set. And Ashley Smith is headed back to the locker room for TCU, a sight that TCU fans do not want to see at this point in the match. Big swing there, and a great job of Alexia Smith of really not advertising where she was going on that set.
A really good swing by Reagan McGuire right out of the middle. She goes on that right side of McGill, and McGill unable to come up with the block. TCU had a huge comeback in the last set. Let's see what kind of magic the Horned Frogs have here in the 4th.
Off the block, and TCU, here we go again. Are we going to see the same thing we saw in set number 4, where TCU comes storming back at the end of the set?
And Ashley Martin, the freshman, taking control with a beautiful back set to the outside. Sarita Michaels coming away with the kill. Again, such a great team effort by TCU. And In the last set, I thought it was interesting that Coach Dave Sochi did not call a timeout during that late TCU run. Here he's saying, I'm going to put a stop to this right now, or at least put a break in the gameplay as I see the same thing happening.
Well, and the team has fought off this season. You know, we talked about how many 4- and 5-set matches they've had. Hawaii has, this is important for them, win or go home. They have not lost in the first round since 1997, and you look at their history right there, 34th NCAA tournament appearance. They've only missed one in the entire history of the NCAA tournament. This is a team that expects to win, and they know how to do it.
And some of these, 3 NCAA championships, these girls were not there for those, but Coach Dave Shoji was, and you know that his experience and his knowledge that he has poured into these girls, they have that mentality of what it takes to be a championship team.
You go to Hawaii, you know what you're going to go play for. You know, the history is all over the place there. They're such a storied program. Meanwhile, if you're TCU, this is a situation that none of these players have really been in. This is only the program's second time in the NCAA tournament. They've only been in existence since 1996. And so this is a young program in comparison to Hawaii with the experience on the court. And so it'll be interesting to see here how this 4th set shapes out, and if we go to a 5th and deciding set, how that goes. But TCU down by 2 now, trying to come back here in set number 4. They're down one of their starting players. Ashley Smith is out. She got injured a few points ago. And now Hawaii's 1 point away from sending this to 5. Nikki Taylor with that last kill. She's got 16 now. And that's how it's going to end, on a block, something that TCU was not expecting from Hawaii, because Hawaii has not been getting it done on the blocking side of the ball really here today. So they take that one 25-21. So we're going to a 5th set, and you talked about what an exciting time of year this is. It doesn't get any better than this, you know. First round going to the 5th set. If you're TCU and Hawaii fans, this is maybe not what you want to see, but if you're a volleyball fan in general, you're really excited to see this happen.
The fans are definitely getting their money's worth today, Casey. Hawaii 2-0 this year in 5-set matches, and TCU 3-1. Both pretty good records. Again, you have to remember, Hawaii's only lost 1 match all year. And so this is somewhere that they're kind of maybe not used to being, not a whole lot of adversity that they've had to overcome in matches so far this year, especially in the Big West. And TCU, though, they're used to this up and down roller coaster. That's kind of the story of their season. You can see Blair Pickens still getting warm. She got put in that 4th set because Ashley Smith went down for TCU. She's gone to the training room or the locker room, and we're not sure if she'll be back in the 5th set.
So we're going to a 5th set, and the way that works is it's still rally scoring. For those of you who may be new to the sport of volleyball, it's still rally scoring. You go to 15, though. So you have to get out to a very quick start, and then the first team to 8, they change sides. And so if you're a coach, there is an immediate need to jump out and play tough in this one. You can't give any points away, especially early on in set number 5.
And not to mention the pressure of 5 sets, but there's the pressure of you're going home if you lose this set. Your season is over. Obviously, Hawaii ranked 7th in the country. They were not expecting to go home this early. And like I said earlier, Coach Kramer for TCU, she said, my girls are not okay with just being here. I can feel this sense of wanting to win. They are not done just because we made it to the tournament. Although that is a huge accomplishment for this TCU team, no one is ready to go home yet, Casey.
Hawaii, they're 2-0 in 5-set matches. One of those 5 sets was against SEC Florida, and they won that one 15-9 in set number 5. So if you're Hawaii right now, Chelsea, who really needs to stand out for them and really get it done here for the Bows in this 5th set?
You know, looking at statistics, you've got McGill with 15 kills. She has been unstoppable. She's hitting .433 on the day. If Hawaii can pass well, I say you've got to go to your middles. But otherwise, Greeley on the outside and Nikki Taylor right there, all smiles. She knows she probably has not had the best match of her season, but this is when she needs to step up. She's the leader of this team. She's all over the leaderboards. She's all over the record books. She's only hitting .039 tonight, but she's got 16 kills. That's leading the team along with Kayla Greeley. Nikki Taylor's got to turn it on right now.
What about for TCU? If you're the Horn Frogs, who needs to step up and take control of this fifth set for them?
Well, Jill Bergeson and Reagan McGuire have both been so good tonight, along with Sarita Michaels. Sarita Michaels leading the team with 12 kills. I think for TCU, just as a team, you have to keep playing consistently. Yes, your leader is down. She's not on the court. But because this is such a team effort type of team, you've got to put that in the back of your head, and you've got to do what you can with the girls that are on the court now for the Horn Frogs.
All right, so we're tied at 2 here. Free volleyball, as they like to say, an extra set, fifth set. Winner keeps going, advances to round 2 tomorrow night here back in College Station, and the loser, their season is done. So it's win or go home right now for TCU and Hawaii. And there's a point for Hawaii right off the bat. Just who we thought we might see come alive here.
You know, in credit to Olivia McGill, who passed that ball. She's a middle, and that serve came off the tape. That could have very easily gone down as an ace. McGill was able to make the pass, and then Nikki Taylor able to get the kill.
Perfect pass on that tough serve, and TCU takes advantage of it. Alexia Heiss with a great set there for the Horn Frogs. So 1-1 here. Reminder, if you're tuning in to watch Texas A&M and Texas A&M Corpus Christi, that match will begin 30 minutes after this one is done here in College Station. These two teams, TCU and Hawaii, going extra to the fifth set here in College Station. Bad pass on serve received by Hawaii. Still able to get a swing. Out of the middle. For the point comes TCU, and that's where they're going to continue to go.
TCU got a little lucky because they did not put a block up against Nikki Taylor, who took a pretty good swing on an out-of-system ball, but still able to get a great dig. And then Reagan McGuire with the kill out of the middle. She's been really successful all evening.
The fact that Nikki Taylor could even swing at that ball that Kahaka had to run down so far is amazing. Out of the middle, and TCU's block can't stop McGill. So
Olivia McGill continues to be successful for Hawaii. 16 kills tonight for the middle blocker. She's hitting a team high of 452.
Another swing out of the middle, and Hawaii's block was not able to finish that one off.
And if I'm TCU, I'm going to keep going to Reagan McGuire. You can't now because she's going to the bench, but when she's in the game, keep feeding the hot hand, and right now that's Reagan McGuire.
Gower's in the match for TCU. She's got 11 kills on the afternoon, and so if you're TCU, just keep going to the middle. This could be a battle of the middles here as we finish off set number 5. Nice defense in the back row by Bergerson for TCU. McGill with a big swing for Hawaii, and she's definitely swinging with a lot of emotion right now.
McGill will leave the court as well, as she has to go to the back row, and Hawkeye will stay in to play defense for her. So now it'll be interesting to see on both sides of the court who steps up.
Service area by Kahaka, and that was a really close one for TCU to let go. That wasn't that far out. In set number 5, you almost wish they'd have just passed that one just in case. Taylor out of the back row for the swing, and sorry, she was in the front row. Now she's in the back row, and just another swing for her. She makes it look easy.
A really good swing for Nikki Taylor, finding her rhythm, looking a little bit more comfortable, and now she'll go back to serve, which is another very powerful position for Nikki Taylor to be in. She's got a lot of aces on the year. We'll see if she can take TCU out of system.
She serves it long, so she was going for that deep serve, which is, if you're a passer, they're harder to get on target to where the setter needs them. So TCU is the first to 5 here, and a lot of coaches like to do that when they're talking about the 5th set. You take it in segments of 5. TCU first to 5. Now who's going to be the first to 10, and we'll see what happens here. The teams will trade sides here when the first one hits 8 points. Errant pass by Hawaii, able to run it down, and they're going to get a kill off of that. And I'm not real sure what Sutton Sundstrom was doing right there, not running up and passing that ball.
We've seen some miscommunication from TCU tonight. Credit to Hawaii for the effort and just keeping the ball in play. I think Sundstrom thought one of her front row players was going to take that free ball. Instead, they let her have it, and the ball falls to the ground.
Big swing there from Bergeson, and both teams are really showing emotion, and Nikki Taylor went down pretty hard right there. She's slow to get up.
And credit to TCU for not letting that free ball that dropped in to affect you. They took that next ball, they shook it off, and Bergeson was able to get a big kill on the outside for the Horn Frogs.
Ashley Smith back on the bench. Wrap of ice on her knee, but she is here to cheer on her team as they continue. Now they're up by 2, 7-5 here in this 5th set against Hawaii. And, you know, we talked about going to the 5th set with Hawaii, and is that something you want to do? And TCU says, heck yes, let's do it. And they're showing why they have all the confidence in the world right now without one of their starters on the court. That's going to be a point off the block for the Rainbow Wahine, so they cut that lead back to 1 point now for TCU.
And Manu Alevao, she is a senior. She does not want this to be her last match, and so she's excited to be out there on the court right now. And, you know, if I'm Hawaii, maybe you feed it to your emotional senior, the one who wants it the baddest.
Bergeson's blocked. They're going to go to her one more time. She tips it. Nikki Taylor absolutely with a fantastic dig there for Hawaii on that one. And then Taylor comes out of the back row with the hardest swing I think I've seen her with here today.
And Nikki Taylor's limping.
She is not 100%.
She is not 100% right now, but she is not giving up, and she won't. I don't think those words are in Nikki Taylor's vocabulary. She's struggled all game, although she's put up some good numbers, but, you know, she keeps fighting.
McGuire, a little bit of a mishit. And another out-of-system kill for Hawaii. Just like that, that 3-point TCU lead is gone. So now the team switch sides. Hawaii takes the 8th point, 8-7 now their lead. So this is usually the time in the 5th set when we kind of see a team kind of take control here. And Hawaii's done it in their other 2 5-set matches this year. Their scores were 15-9 and 15-8. So that's where we are. So the winner of this match will move on to face the winner of the Texas A&M Corpus Christi match, which will start 30 minutes following the conclusion of this match. And this match is tied up at 2-2, so we're in the 5th set here. Round 2 is tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, back in College Station.
And Texas A&M Corpus Christi both thought they would have been playing by now. I can only imagine how antsy they are waiting in their locker rooms to get out on this court and play. But you just have to give credit to Hawaii for staying in this game and for TCU to keep fighting. This has been a lot of fun volleyball to watch so far tonight.
And we still have some to come. 8-7 now, Hawaii with the lead. Now, normally when you switch sides, you don't get a timeout. And so this was a called media timeout, but normally when they switch sides, both teams come to the court and continue playing. But because this game is the way it is, that's why both teams are on the side right now. We talked about Nikki Player and not playing 100% right now. She's got 19 kills on the game, and so she's still playing with a lot of emotion.
And I hate saying that she's had a tough game, but you look at her, because you look at her numbers, and she's got a great game going, but knowing what we wanted to expect from Nikki Taylor, I think that's just where we're coming from. Yes, she's got 19 kills. She's still hitting under 100, so you have to take into account how many attempts she's had, she also has 14 errors on the day. So can only imagine how dangerous she would be without maybe even half of those errors, Casey.
Hawaii running that one down, going to send a free ball to TCU. Martin with a big swing off the block. Nikki Taylor going to go long on that one. They're going to call a touch on TCU there. Jill Kramer wants to find out who called it. Actually, she's just going to call a timeout because we talked about it. The fifth set, you cannot afford even 1 point right now, and if you let Hawaii get out to a bigger lead than this, you're going to have a problem.
We'll take a look, and you can see it go off of Bergeson's hand. It was a very high hit, and sometimes you'll hear coaches telling your blockers, don't try to go so high, make sure you're pressing over. That time, Bergeson went too high. She really, really wanted that block. We'll take a look, and you can see her fingertip right off of it. There definitely was a touch. That's a good call by the referee there on the stand, right in front of it, really in front of her eyes. So another kill for Nikki Taylor. She is at 20 here on the day, and she's finally breached that 100 mark on hitting percentage, hitting 107 right now with 1 block as well.
So Hawaii and TCU in set number 5 here. Texas A&M and Texas A&M Corpus Christi. And you saw the Islanders getting ready emotionally, jumping. They're in the tunnel. They're ready to come out. But these two teams, and A&M is actually already out in their tunnel too. These teams are all trying to get to round 2, and they're taking it one match at a time. But the end result is to try to get to the NCAA Volleyball Championship, which is in Omaha, Nebraska this year, and it starts December 18th. And so we've started it here this week. Some matches started early on Thursday here in College Station. They started today on Friday. And these teams, 64 of them, all trying to be the ones to get to the last 4 standing in Omaha. Hawaii leads this one by 2 here in set number 5. Back row swing there from Greeley. Hawaii's going to send it over. McGill tips it over, run down there by Michaels. Mana Olive with the kill for Hawaii, and that was some great defense there.
Excellent defense by both teams. Such a long rally, which is something that we've become pretty used to during this match. Really good defense by Michaels there for TCU, but Hawaii is able to finally find the hole and get the kill.
And what a swing there by Reagan McGuire on the slide. And she is absolutely swinging very hard here for TCU.
She has such a fast arm swing that the block, even if they think they're on time, they realize they're too late, and McGuire finds the hole, if there is one, every single time she swings.
Out of the back row, Nikki Taylor is going to be met with a block. Down the line, Hawkeye there with a dig. And she's going to get the ball back over. Out of the middle comes Reagan McGuire with probably the hardest hit ball we've seen all afternoon. Absolutely hammered that ball down on the 10-foot line.
McGuire just absolutely crushes this ball past McGill. And it all started with her very own pass. And I was bragging on McGill earlier for Hawaii being able to be that athletic and do the same thing. McGuire answers back with a great play of her own.
Hawaii up by 1 now, 10-9. And that's going to go off the block. So Martin and McGuire, they've had a great night blocking tandem there, but that one gets by them. So Hawaii now 4 points away from advancing to the second round here. Martin. Quick out of the middle, McGill, but TCU is there. McGill goes back and is going to find the court. TCU does not agree with that call on that one. They're not going to argue, though. Let's take a look at it here.
It's hard to tell
hard to
from
tell.
this angle. The entire TCU bench was up on their feet, not happy with the call, but it wasn't enough for anyone to overrule the line judge.
12-9 and a big block there, but that one is going to go TCU's way. Hawaii putting up the triple block in the middle on that one.
Trying to stop McGuire because she's been so good. Hawaii's block timing is off. They're unable to press their hands all the way across the net, and McGuire gets the kill again for TCU.
Hawaii 3 points away now. TCU 5 points away from finishing this one off. You can't count out TCU just yet. As we saw in set number 3, they fought off 4 set points then to win that one.
A really, really good spot by Olivia McGill on that last swing. She didn't have to hit the ball hard. She gets it right inside of the sideline. That's almost impossible location to defend.
Big swing there. And would you say that TCU is playing with a lot of emotion right now?
A ton of emotion. They've been playing with emotion all match, Casey. We've said it, even when Hawaii is leading, TCU looks like they are. If you didn't know what the score was and you were just looking at the two teams, you would have thought TCU had swept Hawaii already. TCU plays with a lot of emotion. That's where they get a lot of their success from. But Hawaii, the calm, cool, collected, they're still ahead in this ball game.
Sundstrom runs that one down. Oh, and she's not able to follow that one, and you heard everybody in here because she just misplayed that ball. She was moving still and wasn't able to get there. So that takes us to match point now. Jill Kramer is going to call a timeout and talk about it. And wow, that was just an unfortunate timing of a mistake, that kind of error, if you're Sutton Sundstrom and TCU.
Something that all coaches will tell you is you have to be stopped when the opposing team is making contact with the ball. Sundstrom, I think, was making a read on it and just was not in the best position. And you're right, a very unfortunate mistake for TCU's libero at this time in the match.
One of the seniors on this TCU team, Sutton Sundstrom, is. The other one is Alexia Heist, and then Blair Pickens, who we saw come in when Ashley Smith went down earlier. Ashley Smith is back out on the bench for TCU, and if you're TCU, this is urgent because Hawaii has got match point. Meanwhile, if you're Hawaii, you come out of this timeout. You cannot let TCU back in this set. This is the same scenario as in set number 3. 3 match points now for TCU, for Hawaii, and can TCU hold them off here to advance to the second round?
TCU just has to keep playing with confidence, Casey. They can't play to not make a mistake. They can't play scared. Right now, you have just got to go all out and leave everything on the court. And if you're Hawaii, you got to play your game. Keep playing your game. Keep playing with that confidence. Stay calm. Stay collected. All you need is one.
All they need is one, Hawaii, to go on to round number 2. 14-11. Sarita Michaels gets the point for TCU, and so they put the ball back on their court now. They have control now with the serve. Still match point for Hawaii. As usually Ashley Smith looking on from the bench, telling her coach to move so she can see. Greeley swings wide, and I was a little unhappy with how TCU chose to play that free ball, but another timeout. This time Hawaii calls it, but TCU really got lucky on that one. And a smart move, though, they sent it to Nikki Taylor, so she had to play that first ball.
And in a sense, you want to keep the ball in play. I wasn't happy either with the aggressiveness of TCU, but they forced Hawaii to make the play, and in that case, Hawaii made the mistake. And that's the one thing. You can't make an error. You can't put it in the net because then you're not even giving the other team a chance to make a play on it. TCU, as easy as it was, they kept the ball in play. and Hawaii forced to made the mistake.
So this is only Hawaii's third 5-set match of the year. They won the other two over Florida and Long Beach State. 15-8 and 15-9 were those scores. So new territory for the Rainbow Wahine this year, letting a team get to 13. Meanwhile, TCU 3-1 on the year, and they have now fought off 2 match points for Hawaii. Either team would have to win by 2 in this set.
And folks, this is as good as it gets. You're in the NCAA tournament, you're in the hunt for a championship, and right now you are in set 5 at 14-13. This is just incredible volleyball right now.
Another match point for Hawaii. The TCU fans and the Hawaii fans that have made the trek to College Station are all on their feet right now. Sarita Michaels back to serve now for the Horn Frogs, hoping to stay alive here. Ferguson with the swing, Hawaii there for the dig. Nikki Taylor to finish it for Hawaii, and that's exactly what she does. And what a match we had just witnessed here in the first round. And Hawaii has taken 5 sets to beat TCU here. 15-13 was the final score. And if you're a TCU, that was one of the most emotional matches you've ever played.
Such an emotional match, so many ups and downs. Although I give TCU credit, they stayed up, they stayed positive through the entire match. An absolutely great game to be a part of, to witness, to see. TCU has to be so proud of their season, but Hawaii, way to battle back, way to prove that that ranking isn't a mistake, that you are here to be a competitor in this tournament.
So Hawaii lives to see another round here in the 2015 NCAA tournament as they take down TCU in a 5. It wasn't always the prettiest of volleyball, but at the end of the day, it's a win, and when at this point in the year, that's all that counts. So for Chelsea Reber, I'm Casey Richardson saying so long from College Station, where the Rainbow Wahine of Hawaii beat TCU in 5 sets. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of the ESPN Network.